Alright guys, welcome back to another Draw With Me in Procreate. I know it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these. I'm trying to get back into the swing. So here we go. The project we're working on today is a custom name sticker for my Friday orders. So what we're going to do first is turn on the drawing guide, and I want to do some symmetry work. So once I'm in the edit drawing guide, I'm going to click on symmetry, and I want this symmetry option right here. If you click on options, you can see vertical, horizontal, quadrant, or radial. We're doing vertical today because I want to make sure that what I draw on this side is the same on this side. So I'm going to click done, and you can see that whatever I draw on this side duplicates on the other side, and that is what we're looking for. So the brush I have is Freycinet, and I'm going to go ahead and up the brush size just a little bit. I want it to be a little thicker, maybe not quite that thick, a little lower. Okay, looks good. So what we're going to be doing is drawing a popsicle. So I'm going to get the outline first, and then I will go back through and add the detail. So I'm doing one of those classic popsicle shapes that's basically just a rectangle. You could add a little angle to it if you wanted to, but I think I like just the rectangle as it is. And then I'm going to move that up a little bit. I feel like I need more room for my stick because I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to put the name on the stick. So I want to make sure the stick is nice and long. There we go. All right, so we've got that. Now I'm going to add those little classic panels that you kind of see on the popsicles. They just kind of look like this. Okay, looking good. Kind of looks like a popsicle, right? Now, we're going to go ahead and add some colors and shading and all that good stuff. So I'm going to turn my drawing assist off, and then I'm going to add a new layer underneath our drawing layer. And we're going to go ahead and add the colors. So for the colors, I'm trying to stay as close to my brand palette as possible. So we're gonna go ahead and make this popsicle a, let's do like this pink color. So I'm gonna grab the pink color, and I have my Freycinet brush still selected. I wanna make this a little bit larger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in. Now the reason I'm not color dropping and using reference layers and all that is because I want to keep the texture of the brush, because I think that really makes it look a little bit more like a popsicle. Then I'm going to grab an eraser, and the brush I'm using for that is just a large monoline brush. I'm going to come through on the edges and just clean it up a little bit. I want it to stay inside the lines. Alright, so now that we have that, we want to add some shadow. So there's a couple things that I want to do. First of all, I'm going to add a new layer on top. I'm going to grab the darker pink that I have, and I'm going to color in the inside of those little rectangles that we made. We're just going to bring our brush down a little bit smaller for that. So we're just going to color this in. Like that. And then I want to go ahead and add more shadow on top. So I'm going to add another layer on top of this. We're going to grab a black, and don't worry, it's going to be very light once we get done with this. I'm going to assume my light source is coming from the left side, so I'm going to go ahead and darken up the right side and just a little bit of the bottom like this. Don't worry, that's not how it's gonna be. Here's where the magic comes in. What we're gonna do is we're going to take that we just did, since it's on a new layer, we're going to tap, and we're going to clipping mask so that it clips to the layer below. It's clipping to the inside darker color here of these two little pieces. And now we're going to soften that. So what we're going to do is click the blend mode, which is the little N here. And if we go all the way up to multiply, we're going to turn the opacity down. and I'm going to about 50%. Then we're going to go to the adjustments tab, and we're going to go to Gaussian blur and layer. And then we're just going to blur that out, and I actually want to move it a little bit so it's not quite so shadowy. I just want the hint of a shadow. So once I have Gaussian blur where I want it, I think I'm going to do like about 15%. I'm going to tap the arrow icon, and we're just going to drag it off to the right a little bit, just so that we have a hint of shadow. I don't want it to be dulling that color too much. All right, now that we have that, we're gonna do the exact same process with the lighter pink. So we're gonna go ahead and add a new layer on top of our pink square here, rectangle. And the same thing, I'm gonna grab that brush, I have black selected, and I'm just going to kind of do it in this corner. And actually, I want it to kind of arc down like this and not go quite all the way to the edge. I'm just gonna go kind of like that. So again, here it is. We're going to tap on the layer, do a clipping mask, hit the end for the blend mode, go to multiply. We're gonna bring it down to about 50%. And then we're gonna come up to adjustments, Gaussian blur, and again, bring that up to about 15%. And then I don't want it that shadowy, so I'm just gonna bring it down a little. And I think I might want to blur it out a little bit more. This is where you can kind of play around with it and see how you like it. So I'm bringing it back up to like 21% now. So once we think we're happy with how that looks, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same principle with the stick. So I'm gonna grab my yellow color, my gold yellow. I'm going to go up here and create a new layer right underneath the outline layer. We're gonna fill that in and take that eraser, clean up those lines. And then I'm going to do another layer on top. And because I used the darker color already, I'm gonna bring in the lighter, just so that you can see you can do it two different ways. You can add lightness or you can add shadows. We've already added the shadows up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and add lightness to this one. So same thing, you're going to put it where you want the light to be. So we're gonna clipping mask, so it clips it to the shape that's on top of it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Gaussian blur. And I'm going to turn the blend mode down to multiply. And it kind of, even though it was a lighter color, when you go to multiply it, it makes it a little bit darker. And I actually like the way that that looks better, so I might change the color of the shadows. So originally I had black for the shadow on top of my large rectangle. I'm actually going to take the darker pink color and use that for my shadow instead. So I'm just going to tap on the layer. Once I have my color selected I want to replace it with, if you tap on it you can hit select and it will change the color for you. And now if we want, we can bring this back up since it's looking a lot better. And the same thing, I'm gonna grab my lighter pink and I'm going to tap on the shadows for my double, these little double skinny rectangles. And I'm gonna go ahead and select that. So now we've got the light coming in from the upper left. I'm liking that a lot better. I think that looks a lot more like how I want it to look. We're gonna go ahead and turn this into a sticker by adding the offset. So what I'm gonna do is group all of these layers together, and then I'm going to make it a little smaller so I have a little bit more room. All right, sorry about the noise. My air conditioner just kicked on and it's pretty loud, but it's 90 degrees today, so it needs to happen. I do apologize. So we're gonna go ahead and get this into the middle. And I'm going to turn off my background layer, add a new layer, and bring that underneath my drawing. I'm going to grab white. So I have True White selected already in my palette, but if you're not sure where True White is, if you double tap where the white should be over here, you'll get True White. So now with the hard airbrush, and I have mine up to about 50%. I'm gonna go ahead and outline this. So we're just gonna go all the way around it. To our popsicle. Now we can go ahead and get the names on there. I'm going to add a new layer on top, and we're going to choose black. We're going to name it, put the names right onto the stick down here. So make sure that I have my Fracenet brush, and I'm going to bring it all the way down to like 1%. Now we're going to start adding the names. Now that we have all of our popsicles named, we're gonna go ahead and get those printed out. That is it for this tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed that and you picked up a few things. Let me know in the comments what was one thing that you learned and what's one thing that you hope to learn in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.